What's up, Regenerator? Alright, I'm going to do a quick VOD review of your Ana play based on your Reddit post here from, looks like 3 hours ago. You're a 1900 Ana player. You said you struggled a lot on this map. And you also posted one for Blizzard World, and if time permits, I will take a look at that one as well. But it sounds like you said you had an easier time on that map because it had a more open layout, longer sight lines. Just makes sense to me. But yeah, let's check out your Temple of Anubis on a play. All right. So in here, we're in the spawn room, just out the beginning gate here, where we're gonna run double bubble with Genji. Okay, and so you can kind of choose whether you want to nano the Genji or the Winston here. A lot of the time in this kind of comp, if you're playing in, it's like if you're playing in role queue in your solo queuing, then what I do here probably is I start off but with the intention of wanting to nano the Genji first. All right, because if the Genji is a carry, then Nano Blade is going to completely shit on 2CP because you only have to win 2 fights, right? You just have to win 2 fights. And a Nano Blade can usually win the fight if you have a good Genji. All right. Now, there's a world where your Genji might suck. All right. And maybe your monkey's really good. So you're going to have to kind of use your own judgment to determine whether the first nano blade you give a shot at for Bubby here is worth it. And if it's not worth it, you need to shift priorities and start thinking about nanoing in your monkey instead. So I would start with Genji first. If it works out, keep it up. If he just gets stunned and dies instantly and doesn't really track what the enemy is doing or anything like that, then maybe don't give it to him anymore. Try to maybe go for the monkey instead. All right. Let's see what you do in the beginning. Okay, and just, with the Hanzo here, just be very careful. You definitely don't want to hang out around here. You want to have an intent. Are you going to, walk through long? And we're going to call this, this other side to the left. This is long, and this is short, right? I call this long because it's a longer route to point. This is a shorter route to point because it just goes right to point. If you're intending on going long here, that's fine. You just know that you don't want to stick your head around here for too long because it's a Hanzo. It's like your worst enemy. You do not want to fight this guy. You could really die. Yeah, I kind of fucking saw that come. I'm so sorry, dude. So here, what you want to do is ask your tanks to help you through. This really should be Zarya's job to bubble you through, or Winston's job to walk over choke with you so that he can take that arrow instead of you. Because at this point, you've already lost your Genji and your Ana. Everyone who's continuing to walk long is walking to their death. There is no shot that they can push point here anymore. No shot. It's a lot easier, by the way, for a Ryan and a Zarya, or sorry, a Ryan or a Diva to get you through this little area. Because as you walk from here to the middle pillar, they can give you defense matrix. And then the Diva, can walk to here and then give you defense matrix and pull you in. Ryan can just hold a shield. Super simple. Just hold the shield. But yeah, with a monkey doesn't necessarily want to drop his bubble shield here because it's on a 13-second cooldown and it's the only tool he has to really make an actual play. And so he doesn't want to drop a 13-second cooldown here, only to sit here for the next 13 seconds waiting for his bubble to come up so he can actually do anything. So that's why I think it's more of an off tank job to get you through more than the main tank if it's in this situation. All right, so you're going to come out of spawn here soon, and hopefully Lucio's going to speed you back or kind of encourage your team to stick together, which none of that has happened. And so if you pan the camera out here and take a look at what's going on, Genji died quicker than you, and Genji's kind of sort of back in the fight. Your Tracer's going up or right. That's awesome. You still need help getting through this choke if the Hanzo isn't being dealt with. And so I'm really hoping you don't die here because that'd be tragic. Okay, and so now we can support our Genji, and the Hanzo is turned around, and so there's a possibility here you could actually go in for some damage. So after supporting the Genji, potential to maybe do some damage, but as soon as the Hanzo looks at you, this is no longer safe. You never, ever take a fair duel with Hanzo. The only duel you ever take against Hanzo is the one where you surprise him. It looks to me, though, how your team, you've got 3 crit on long. And so I would definitely not take the duel with Hanzo. Pull back here and try to pull your team back into you or heal them through this doorway. Because there is no way you can continue walking this way into this doorway. It is not principled play. You can't do it. It's like maybe you get away with it, but that doesn't mean it was a good choice, or it doesn't mean you're picking up a good habit. It's a good nade. I like pulling back here. This is good. And so you're just trying to get your team back together as much as possible. Now you're down 3, you're down 4, and you just walk back to spawn. Okay. Do not make the mistake, by the way, of just chilling right here. They can kill you. All right. And especially as you get to higher elos, you'll note that if they even have a sneaking suspicion that you're here, which, by the way, they have Sonic Arrow. And so they do. And they know they just killed 4. Like, do not stick around here. Okay, do not. If you have to, jump off this cliff and, like, hide here if you have to. You can come back around this rock and hide behind the rock if you have to. Just so you're not, like, within that Hanzo sight line. Because, you see this Hanzo sight line. It's really scary. It's really scary to walk down these stairs towards there because you're still going to die. You still have potential to die. And you want to eliminate all potential to die. So really, like, the retreat path is probably just come back here behind the rock, go this way, and then, like, find your team at some point, right? But don't stick around. This is what I'm really scared of. This is what I'm really afraid of. Hey, a brig helped you there. That was nice. That could have been very death. That could have been very death. I know that sentence kind of doesn't make sense, but it kind of does at the same time. You know what I mean? Okay. Your team is still on double bubble, it looks like. And if you could encourage your team to make a strategy, I don't know if you use voice comms or not, but if you could encourage your team to make a strategy, what I recommend here is actually just a dive on stage. So what I mean by that is you're going to kind of, like, your monkey is just going to peek out here. He's going to jump onto the stage, and before he gets to stage, just the moment before he gets to stage, he's going to get Zarya's bubble. He's going to land on top of stage. Everyone is going to start backing up a little bit. Ryan's going to try to hammer the Winston a little bit. He's going to hit the Zarya bubble, and as Winston starts to take a little bit of danger, he's going to drop his bubble, and then his bubble is going, like, his own personal bubble is going to keep him alive as he's going to sort of dance around the point a little bit until he inevitably has to drop back off. But by that time, that has bought your whole team enough time to walk into here and maybe start walking up these stairs. Okay, and now you're starting to see an advantage here, right? So it doesn't matter if they have this whole stage, if your team can walk up the back, find this mega, and start playing the high ground, right? And so you can start finding a little bit of a positional advantage against your opponent there. But to sit on this and not do anything, or to just kind of wait for something to happen, is really bad. To try to use too many cooldowns to get into long and then not be ready for a brawl out if they suddenly decide to push you is also kind of questionable. Let's see what your team does. Okay, so good keeping your team up. We used bubble way too early here from Zarya, so Winston's gonna have a tough time, like, jumping in. You're doing fine just following your team in here. I like that idea. I think that throwing this sleep dart is perhaps a bit early. It could hit the Rhine, for example, but maybe it doesn't, and then you don't have sleep dart for, like, the real trouble, which is, like, once you get here, you have to make some sort of positional movement. You have to actually, like, go up here, or you have to walk underneath the bridge and walk this way, which I hate both of those things, but you got to do it. You don't have sleep dart for it now. Let's see. It didn't hit. That sucks. You're 11 seconds on cooldown for that. So we're sitting in here. We're waiting kind of for the purple to fly away. It kind of fades away. I'd be getting really afraid of Hanzo Dragon Arrow right now. That looks really bad for us. We would just completely fold to that right now. You lost your monkey. That sucks. I would definitely follow your Zarya here. That's, like, the only play. She gave you bubble. That's awesome. You're going to high ground. You do not follow this Doomfist. Of course, by Doomfist, I meant Brig. I don't know why I said Doomfist. Okay, so Brig wasn't quite ready to protect you from the Doom. Yeah, that sucks. Would have been nice if your team like committed to going full up top, and it's totally fine for you to try to make those pathing calls. If someone's not making them, then try to step it up and make the call yourself, your team. I know it's hard to get any 1900 SR team to do anything you want, but sometimes you kind of just have to try at least. Yeah, and you're just waiting for him to land on you for the sleep dart. Okay. So he doesn't end up going for you, you respawn. That's awesome. And so I hope you know as well, just as a little bit of Ana advice, if Doom is looking to land on you as Ana, one of the best things you can do is actually just like walk around in like a circle, like strafe in a circle. All right. It's for some reason, it is a lot easier to dodge him from landing on you if you're moving in a circle. And like as soon as you see where the red marker is, it's so easy for you to start walking away from it. And as you're running around in a circle, it's really hard for him to pick where he's going to land. It's really hard. He often will just be way off, super off, right? And like as soon as he puts his fist on the ground, there's that little moment, that window where he can't get slept, but there's that also that moment where he can. And so definitely work on kind of like run drills if you can to get that timing down, so that when you see him land on top of you, it's so simple to just like walk away from it and fire the sleep dart at the exact moment, because it's so telegraphed exactly where he's going to be that it should be like a 100% chance to sleep for you. It's actually really good for you. And as you get like really good at Ana, you'll never be afraid of a Doom ult again. Like Doom ult is actually just negative value for him if he even dares to try to jump on top of you. Go back for a second. I just want to look at this for this moment, right? In this particular moment, you do have a bit of an angle. I would absolutely just scope on this little angle you have here to see if there's any touch on this, like the Mercy, for example. There's this quick scoping opportunity. Can you see this little angle you have? A little bit of an angle. Your team's not doing anything, so why not scope in and just start like seeing if there's any shots that you can take? Your team wants to go long. Okay. Team's coming out. Good try on the sleep dart. Damn. All right. Well, unlucky on not hitting the sleep dart. We're back with the team here. This guy, don't try to heal that guy with a nade. Really, if you're going for like I need to heal you quick, so I need to throw a nade at you kind of mentality, don't do that unless they're a tank, right? Because your primary fire is usually sufficient for healing DPS up to where they need to be within the required time frame. It really only starts making more like sense time-wise to throw a nade at a tank to really take advantage of the full amount of like that full whole like biotic anti kind of time on the tank to heal them all the way up to full. Like Orion at low health, now I see the value of throwing a nade at him to bring him back to full. But on these DPS, I wouldn't waste the nade because it's so much more powerful to throw a nade at the enemy team and get them to like walk away. Like if you threw that nade instead at these two guys sitting up here, being that they're purple, they would back off a little bit. Not that they would completely back off the angle entirely, but they wouldn't want to take any more spam. Not when they're unable to be healed. So they would be a little bit more careful. You could also back that Rhine up a bit too, which would be nice. Okay. I don't mind it. You're keeping your Zarya up there. Oh, that was your teammate. Might be worth tossing in just I'm not saying your sleeps are bad. I'm just saying we can all work on our sleeps, right? So a good Ana sleep training, and just write this one down, is 3-2 JRG. That's 3-2 JRG. Import that in a custom game and practice your sleeps a little bit. It's a nice one. Okay, keeping him up there. A little waste of a nade. It's right. I mean, that's like an emergency thing. Again, because purpling the enemy team is so much more impactful than just a slightly faster healing of your team, that you don't want to waste it if you don't have to. The highest and best use of nade is purpling the enemy team. End of discussion on that. That sucks. You gotta hit this sleep dart here. Nice. Good. And just run. Run. Nice. You get the Sigma to get you through that middle part. This is good. Your Ashe is able to confirm the kill on the Doom. That's awesome. We focus on keeping our monkey up here as he jumps in. And you do not jump off stage. Okay? You have to kind of feel it in your gut and your sort of like, in sort of your honest sense as to when you should stop pressing W and just like hold the angle, hold the sight, because this is really good. Like if you want to view more of the point, come up bridge, like look up here or come down here and like look from here if you have to, right? But you're not going to walk onto point, right? That doesn't make any sense. Do not walk onto point here. It's just like, you don't have to. And you can tell people like, yo, I'm staying on stage. Just keep within line of sight. On a heals from stage. This is the kind of thing you wouldn't be caught up in if you were on stage. So, the main reason I'd want to stay on stage, by the way, the way you can kind of rationalize this is that you kind of want the whole fight to be in your vision. And if you look at like this angle you have here, for example, looking this way, the entire fight is within vision and you've got a little bit of cover. And so that's kind of what merits this as a really good position. All right, glad I didn't hit by that. Stay behind this Winston barrier as much as you can. Hold your sleep for oh, you don't have sleep. Okay. All right. A little bit unnerving, but we got it. All right, let's try to take the next one. Good shots, good damage there. Definitely be looking for damage here. Your team is healthy, so just shoot the enemy, right? It's fine. Your Winston's fine. So I'm not a fan that you have walked like on to point and everything here. You don't have to walk all the way up to point. You can totally play a little bit back, right? I kind of like an angle somewhat around here. I also don't mind walking up this thing and standing on top of here. Just kind of surveying the battlefield a little bit. If you got plenty of time, if you got a lot of time, you can jump up here and up here. If you really want to, you can actually just kind of stay here. If you want just like this line of sight, it is possible technically to jump up on top of this box and then up to here, but it's a tough jump. It's really easy to miss that jump if you're not super confident with it. But if you can make it up here, and if you have the time to make it up here, this is a busted ass position. This is so strong to be up here. But yeah, don't be on point. Mainly just because, like, if you're trying to support your team from here, let's say you're looking here, for example, well, anyone that comes out of the gate this way is just going to get a free shot from behind, and you're probably dead. Wouldn't want to be standing here. At least if you are standing, like, over here supporting your team, then anyone coming out the left gate this way, they don't have an immediate line of sight on you. They have to, like, walk all the way over to here to see you. And that's kind of what you're playing at if you're just going to play this position. Someone on your team, not you, has to cap the point. Make sure your team knows that. Like, you tell your team, like, I'm holding back. Someone else cap the point. Just make it really clear to your team. You found this. Okay, so you found this position. You don't want to go much further than this. That's going to be on top of you, probably. And so this is where you're going to want to like walk in circles a bit to make it harder to hit you. If you walk in a straight line, it's a very easy placement. That's right on top of you. Okay, so whenever you see this, it's like absolutely turn to the center, and as soon as he lands, you throw that dart. I'll tell you when, right? Now you throw the dart, right? And there's no like trying to press E fast enough. There's nothing. You can't get out of it if you throw it at the right time. He guarantees gets slept, but he didn't throw the sleep dart out. Oh, maybe you did. Hold on. My bad. Maybe you did throw it. Way too late. Super way too late. That's just a reaction time thing. Damn. All right. With this Sig Shield, by the way, there's no reason you don't have to just like play behind this natural cover so hard. As I'm walking out of here, I'm totally looking for free shots. Right, go back 5 seconds. Right here, if I'm you standing, okay, watch, you're standing here, right? What happens here is I'm gonna pull my camera off of you. I'm gonna pretend that I'm you for a second, right? I'm following the Sigma. I'm scoping in here. I'm getting a free shot. That quick scope on this Zarya pushes her back just a little bit. It keeps her in check, pushes her back a bit. Every time you shoot somebody as Ana, and then they kind of get hit like straight on, or like really from anywhere, it kind of forces them to like, oh shit, I got hit by Ana. I'm gonna move back a bit. It actually changes their positioning a little bit. It reminds them that they're a bit vulnerable and pushes them back. So you actually give your team a little bit more space and take some pressure off your team when you're able to make those shots. And so especially with your Sigma shield here, absolutely, like just come right here and start shooting down main. What are they going to do about it? Like what on the enemy team? Who on the enemy team is going to do anything about you shooting here? No one. So worth the shots. This being a little bit passive, but if you want to rise through the ranks of like high silver, low gold, one thing you have to remember is that, you know, the enemy team is usually also a little bit passive, and so you kind of do want to make a few hero plays here and there, even just as a matter of limit testing. You want to see how far can you go, and in this scenario, I think you can go pretty far. I think you can actually like just kind of scope down main and start shooting them, and they're not going to shoot you back too much. The only person shooting you back here is going to be right clicks from the enemy Zarya, a few clicks maybe from Cam on the Cassidy, and maybe Kaylee is going to scope in and try to shoot you back, maybe. But, you know, Kaylee's probably not going to do that. Maybe she, hold on a second. Kaylee would probably shoot you back, but not from where you are here. That's a fail jump. That's that sleep is a little bit like sus, because you're trying to sleep the Zarya there, but a little far away, kind of easy to miss. I wouldn't be going for such an aggressive sleep when there's so much pressure on you to defend yourself against the Doomfist. So Doomfist is going to be on your ass, and you have 8 seconds on sleep, and that's like the main way you don't die. You do have a pick on the Ana. You got a pick on the Cassidy. This is very winnable. Definitely seem a little lost here. I like sort of the idea of being here is fine. You don't want to drop off of this. That doesn't make any sense. Make sure not dropping off here. You could go up here and play this angle. Don't drop off. This is kind of why, right? So now that you've dropped off, you have one of two options. You can either take the Mega, walk back this way to safety where the enemy team is not going to slap you with a Reinhardt hammer. Or by the way, when you take this option, you give up on healing your team for a while and you lose the fight. So don't do that. Okay, so you can't go that way. Option B, we go this way. And now we have like, okay, do we take a left or do we take a right? Well, if we take a left, then we're in a position to potentially support our team. However, there is a Reinhardt here, and you're dead. So this is not an option. Now, we could take ruins, okay? But as we take ruins, and as you'll see, is that the only person you have sights on is Sigma. And so you see here how, like, not much you can do to support your team in doing anything when you're in ruins because there's just so much in your face. You have to walk all the way around. And by the time you make this whole rotation, you could very easily lose the fight. So, since this is not an option, this is not an option, and this is not an option, then you are left with what I'd call an impossible decision. There are no options. So let's see which wrong option you're forced to take. This one. And this is death. Wow. Barely survived the skin of your teeth. But again, now you're back over here. Really hard to support your team. It just happens to be that someone's sitting there. Okay. The enemy team is able to kill 3 during that rotation. So the fight's over. Almost hit that. Now you don't have Sleep Dart for the Doomfist, but you can probably get out of this because it looks like he landed in a poor spot. No, not quite. He got you. Okay. Well, that sucks. Move on. We go next. Good marking the Doomfist, by the way, because I'm going back here for a second. Right, you seem like as you're walking forward here, you are very conscious of this Doomfist threat, and I hear the Doomfist and I see your camera moving around here, and what that tells me is that you're really actively looking for the Doomfist. So you're not stupid, all right? You're clearly not stupid. You know something about what you're doing here, and your crosshairs are constantly sort of looking at him. You're kind of keeping a track up there. Now, like, don't completely lose focus. You're still tracking the Doomfist. Good, you see him there. We got the Nano. We got a sleep on the Reinhardt. This Doomfist is still potentially a problem, but this is a decent start. You don't. Oh, no. You go back a bit. Let's go back a bit. Okay. So there's no reason to walk up the stairs. Not yet, right? So you could play over here. Like, as you walk out of this, distance yourself a bit. When you start getting really close to enemy team members, that should give you some like red flags in your head. Why would it be so close to the enemy team? Like, just back up. If you are going to walk up here, there's a potential that you jump and land yourself up here and walk this way. And now, why would this be good? Is because this gives you like a straight shot into jumping on top of this and then up here. And now you're back into that sort of like magical position that I really, really like. I like this spot. This has retreat potential. It has vision. It has high ground. Like, this is pretty good. You can jump up here and get even more. So the fact that you'd be en route to getting like to that position means I think you're kind of putting yourself in a great position to maybe be able to push this point, despite the fact that you're already 1 down. Right? But as we go up here, you commit to the idea of wanting to walk through main, and you're really close to this Ryan. I mean, like, this, you should have already been back here at this point. Okay? You almost go back a little bit there, but then you really wanted to get this purple. No, sorry, not this purple. You're trying to save your Reinhardt here, okay? And then you immediately turn, and you try to go down this way, but this guy wakes up. That's not really good for you, obviously. And so this is kind of like the big disincentive to walking this direction, is because even though it does kind of take you to point, and even though we are in overtime, like, this time could have spent going to here. You could have been like this point already by this point in time, right? And so now you can be getting up here and maybe doing something to pushing the point as hard as possible. And Ryan wouldn't know where you are. Ryan probably wouldn't know. I mean, he was going to do this. That sound. Holy shit. Holy shit, that was loud. Okay. Ryan wouldn't have gotten that because, like, whether you're there or not, he's pinning back, right? That makes sense. He's just going to pin back anyway. And so that's why it was so unfortunate for you to be there. And you could have been up in that ruins area. Oops. All right. So right off the bat, I would be standing closer to this side of the bridge. Just be over here. Like on top of the bridge where the hog is, maybe a little bit behind him. is going to be a little bit better. Try not to just stand like in the middle of the stage. I don't like it. Here, I think your retreat paths are better. Your vision is a little bit safer. Whereas like here, all the enemy team has to do is commit to like getting a Widowmaker up here, and you just don't have a whole lot of time to react or go anywhere. Like they can probably just find a shot on you. And then like if you get to a point where you're trying to defend yourself from Widowmaker by using just this pillar, you're in a pretty bad spot, because think about it like chess in a way. The Widowmaker has pinned you in a way, if you know what that means. If you don't know chess, then whatever, I'll kind of explain what pinning means. When you're pinned to this pillar, you can't move. You can't go left. You can't go right. It's really hard to move, because if you try to retreat this way, then she's going to kill you by shooting you in the head. And if you try to move this way, she's going to kill you by shooting you in the head. Your only option is to move backwards off the pillar and hope you don't die on the way back, because she can still probably find an angle on your head. But if you make it back here, then notice how you're not in a position to help your team at all, in hardly anything they'd be wanting to do. Whereas once you know there's a Widowmaker, you can just pull down the stairs here, and there's very little a Widowmaker can do to like find you here, right? So a Widowmaker would have to be all the way over here to the side to try to find your head. And if that's the case, what you can do is just come back on the stairs. Like just go even further and see from here how you can use this bridge as cover against that Widowmaker and still like see this choke and like help your team on stage, like maintain that position. You can also take this angle from the stairs here to see this angle and shoot people on their way through long, all the way from back here. And you can also, while you're on bridge, if there's no one up there, well, as they come through the back of long, you can throw a nade at their back and purple people from the back here. In case you have any flankers, they're going to be like a Junkrat starting right here, really strong. If they start walking through here and they're waiting a second, chilling like right here while they're purple, well, Junkrat is just going to rain hell on them. You know what I mean? Or if like a Pharah was chilling here and just waiting for them to walk through, well, now they're all just sitting together in their purple and they're dead. You know what I mean? So a lot of potential to like ante them on the way in, shoot the stragglers as they're trying to get through here without like their tank's help. And overall, yeah, I think that this is just a vastly superior position. All right, let's see. Oh, that's not you. Oh God, what's the button? I'm just not finding. There it is. Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Moving. Defend objective A.
Man, I hate the Bastion play here. I really don't like it. Let me go back a second here. Just want to show you this. Okay, and so like your Bastion is going to get pushed a little bit here, and he's going to land on the ground. He's slept. He's behind a barrier. Let me ask you, looking at the barrier and looking at his health bar, right? Look at his health bar. Does he need help? I mean, yeah, he's sleeping, but he's pretty well protected right now. The team's not shooting him, and he's probably fine. So in this situation, since your entire team, which you can see, by the way, is as full as they can be, like everyone on your team is max health, your team is fine. This is your opportunity to get that little bit of damage that you need to get in, because Ana does need to do some damage, and make sure you remember that. Like, your job is not necessarily a DPS, but you need to do damage. This is your prime opportunity to look at this exposed Ana and get a shot on her. You realize, like, this is your prime opportunity to shoot this Ana, and you have the shot. You absolutely have the shot. For a moment there, you did. All this time, like shooting the Bastion. This is time not spent shooting the enemy team. And if Doomfist is going to use his combo to like try to combo out a Hog, well, he's not going to be able to do it. He chose a tank and not a squishy. And so notice how Hog has still got over half of his health remaining. Shoot the Doomfist. Like, just shoot him. Like, don't even worry about healing the Hog here. Just shoot the Doom. Notice how Hog, with what happened to him, he can heal himself. No problem. You can just shoot the Doom. Good sleep. He went ahead and rezzed the Doom. That's unfortunate. Good purple. Really awesome nade. I loved that. That was sick. That was really cool. Yeah, look at that finishing touch there. You're in that nice spot, but now your team is kind of lost stage. So yeah, you are kind of like forced out back here. I would get as much distance as you can. You can either rotate back inside of like the closet over here. Another thing you can do is rotate like with your team using the shield. You can try to get around back to the staircase. This is like extra safe over here. A little safer than in the closet. In the closet over there, you're going to end up probably dying. But over here, you get not only a good vantage on being able to like heal your team up, but you've got access to the mini if you really need it. You can go up these stairs if you need to like really start getting away. And like the further you are up these stairs, the better angle you can see on flankers coming from up here. You can like see this action and shoot them. Right. So a lot of advantages to like retreating back to here if possible. You're going to want to like not be in that Hanzo range as much as possible. You don't want Hanzo to one-tap you. Nice damage there on the Doomfist. Nice. Okay, you're finding yourself inside the nest a little bit there, but then you're kind of exposing. If you're going to commit to nest, commit to nest. All right, nest is inside here. This is nest. That's at least what I call it. So if you're going to come into here, commit to it and just stay on the mini. All right. So if you nade your feet, then you bio yourself. You gain 100 healing and you bio yourself, and then all sources of healing on you are increased by 50%, including the mini. So the mini, instead of healing for 75, will heal for 75 plus 50%. Was that 112.5 or some shit? Anyway, it heals for more, and so you can tank a lot of damage. Like a lot. You can pretty much have your 200 health plus the 100 from your nade. Plus, if they kind of hurt you more and you're getting down low again and you still have bio effect up, you can pick this up for another 112.5 HP. Now you're effectively 412.5 HP. Like that's more than a tank. That's more than some tanks. That's right on top of you. So, like, yeah, I think you had to leave because the Zarya is chasing you out. Sucks. But let's go back a second, right? Alright. So you get some nice taps there, right? We're going to slow down a little bit. So you walk for a second into nest. Then you walk out of nest. But look at Zarya's vision here. This decision to walk out of nest is what killed you. Because if you look at Zarya's vision for a moment, the only reason she noticed you is because you're like going for this out here and she sees the Ana and she's like, okay, I'm going to kill you. But if you had backed all the way into nest, if like you were just hard lining here, she might have caught a glimpse of you standing here as you were walking here, but maybe she doesn't, for one. And maybe for two, like you're still safer, right? Your retreat path isn't walking back out into the spam. It's like pick up the mini and walk through this door and up the stairs. And so it's a little bit harder for her to follow you there. And now you're like so fucked though. Yeah, any Ana's gonna die to that.
My team still needs me.
Get in here.
Okay. So yeah, we're walking back. We're staying with our tanks, kind of getting back here. Generally, on defense, you just want to live in ruins. Live over here. So you can sit back here for the most cover. This makes it really hard for them to get to you here. There's a world in which you can, if you've got the time, like between fights, you can again do the little thing where you jump up here, jump on this rock, jump on this sort of like thing, jump up to here, and then get a really careful jump from here on top of this. It's possible. And then you just chill up here. From here, you can like look up at nest. Again, I'm calling this here on top of nest right here. Some people will kind of sit here for a second, and you can see how the ash is right there. That sightline is available for shooting people jumping over that thing. From here, you can kind of also see this angle on the opposite high ground where widows like to stay here. If widow is on top of this thing, which is just common, like a widow's going to be standing up here looking for kills on your high ground right here. They're looking for that. well, you can stand behind the pillar and just like keep an eye on your team and just don't get shot at, right? And just don't peek too far this way and just stay back a bit. Just be really careful and use this as natural cover in high ground. Really hard to get hit here. It's really hard to take an on off if you're requires certain like heroes and certain cooldowns. But it is also, I want to express, it is perfectly safe to just play right here instead. You don't want to play over here too much because this really only gives you sights on like this angle here. And a lot of the time, if they're going to push like this side, if they're going to go dark is what they call it, which it looks like a couple of them are, it's pretty common for them to walk through the back here and check on things. And if you're sitting here as Ana trying to like heal, especially if you're scoped in and you reveal the fact that you're basically just sitting right here on main, then they're going to know you're there. And a Doomfist, if a Doomfist walks here and sees you, like you're dead. You're probably dead. Unless you hit a 6 sleep, you're dead. So I don't like this. It's just too easy to flank from this side if anyone like sneaks in from underground. I call this underground, sometimes I call it dark. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of this side either because of the same exact reason. Really, again, like really, I'm just sitting on here or up here, and that's pretty much it. You know? You see that Doomfist is on to your right. Doomfist on you. Almost died. Okay. You really need support right now. Nade your feet. Yep. Yeah. So, let's go back a second. I want to just show you this from the Doomfist perspective. Okay. So imagine for a moment if you're like all the way over here, right? Trying to support your team from this little angle. You can use this natural cover. Look at the Doomfist perspective trying to shoot you. He doesn't see you there. He would see your BAP, he would see your Hog, and he would see your Orisa, but he wouldn't see you. He wouldn't know where you are. And then let's say, for example, he was willing to walk this far out into the middle of the point and spots you all the way over here. What the fuck's he going to do? You know what I mean? Like your whole team sitting here. What is he going to do? Punch all the way over to here without your team doing anything about it? Probably not. And if he does do that stupid thing that I just mentioned that he could do, well, you're looking right at him. All right. That's not hard to see. You fucking see him from a mile away. And that is a straight on easy sleep. I mean, he's just going to come right at you, right? That's a very easy sleep. And so you're way safer standing back here and just keeping more of a distance. All right, and so yeah, you die here. Unfortunate. We move on. Wow, yeah. You managed to kill the Doomfist there. Stay here. Stay here. Like, you know, go back. Don't even walk this far forward. Stay back here. Stay here. Just stay safe. I like the aggression at least to take a shot, but, you know. I also like being safe. Give me a little more aggressive, I guess. This is fine. You don't have to like camp ruins the entire time when the big threat is gone. Like when Doomfist is dead in this case, which is the currently the case. Like your Zarya killed him. It's fine to walk up to here, but like as you feel the threat of Doomfist emerging, you just heard like a little bit of Doomfist stuff going on to the side. It might have been your no. Look, it's both Doomfist, so they're both kind of over here. As you start hearing that sort of Doomfist thing going on, you got to rotate back to where you need to be. All right, you just got to stay as safe as possible. Whoops, wrong side. Your Doomfist diffed their Doomfist, so that's good. That could be coming for you. Again, you want to like walk in circles. Yeah, it's not gonna come for you. That's good. Also, that was your Doomfist. My bad. Yeah, like these are fine. You're just, again, I'm a little bit,
You're going to live.
a little, I'm like uneasy about the threat of the Doomfist, and I still would be on the other side. This is the enemy Doomfist this time, so I'm a little bit weird about this. Okay, it wasn't on you. It's good.
I have your back.
So I'm looking, I mean, if you are going to play this area, if you are going to like walk around and meander and kind of get as much information, I guess, as you possibly can, then you are really looking for that approach. And so as they approach in, I'm kind of expecting to get some big ante, hopefully. As far as like nano targets here, I'm fine with just hold back and nano hog as an emergency. That's always like a pretty solid one. Because if you give hog the nano, usually they'll immediately do some sort of CC on him. And if you can bait out some CC, then he can just go for the whole hog after the fact. Or you can nano whole hog as a sort of combo. And if they don't have any reaction or they react poorly, then, I mean, that kind of usually just like turns the fight way back into your favor or stalls long enough for your spawns to get back. That's what I'd be thinking about right now. A lot of ults on both sides. All it takes is one lost fight, so I'd be thinking about playing maybe a little bit safer play here.
For your own safety, get behind the barrier.
Okay, well, you lost your down. There's 6v5. They're probably going to be looking to push in. They're not. Man, that's really weird. Enemy team not being very aggressive. They have ult advantage. Nice sleep. Okay, so they're just waiting on Sock to respawn, I guess. They're just chilling. Really weird. Also, we're just waiting on the supercharger to go through. I wish you would use that anti the enemy team. I mean, again, they can push it anymore. I don't know why they're not being more aggressive. They're not. Hog's gonna die. There's nothing you can do about it. Now that the hog's dead, there's potential for you to nano this Doomfist. That's a possibility. Another thing you could do is you could come back here again, play safe, and nano the Orisa when they start actually hard committing to point, because then Orisa can like be in a little bit more dangerous state and doesn't necessarily have to retreat on main as well. Like she can just kind of fortify and hold the position. No one wants to walk towards a nano Orisa. That's a horrifying thing. There, I like it. It's a rough Nancy. You have the lamp though. That's good. No. Stay back. Stay back. You don't, like, you can heal your team from not right up close. You can stay back here. This is a mistake because like you are so vulnerable. You are so vulnerable. If I were to say that there's one thing that is most clearly holding you back from climbing, it is exactly this. It's that you are not understanding about how much danger you're in, and you're not valuing the safety of just standing further away. Just stand further away, right? Because you're in so much danger right now, and it doesn't seem like you value that fact. This seems like probably the reason you're not able to climb into gold. At least I'm assuming that's the case because your VOD review request is 1900. Looking for some shots here. That's nice to see. Keep scoping in there. You can kill it. You can like really hit that McCree. I love how the enemy Doom just isn't willing to make much of a play because your Doom is just kind of chilling around there, and he just like misses his rollout. Man, this is so weird. I'm so curious. What the fuck is going on? What is going on? What is preventing them from deciding to move? It's so weird.
30 seconds remaining.
So passive. Oh. Okay, there looks like they're about to do something. There's potential for anti-nades here. Wow, okay. I mean, it's just another fight. Easily.
10 seconds.
Gonna wait out the lamp and then land on you.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay. That was really weird, the last, like, 2 minutes of this. They just didn't, like, they didn't push enemy team. Anyway, so it has been 51 minutes. That has been quite a while. However, I am kind of eager to see what you do on Blizzard World here, just because, well, I was suspecting you to lose there, and I feel like there's more that can be said. On already exists. Oh shit. Blizzard World, is it this one? Yeah, probably. Replays are not available in-game in a custom lobby. Oh, whoops. I'll take a quick look at this. I don't want to spend too much time, but, like, let's see. Oh, this video is going to be forever. All right, we got blue team. It's easier to see on blue team. That's nice. Okay, and so Blizzard World Defense, you're in the right spot. I like this. Your team playing pretty far. Okay, well, that's fine, I guess. You can kind of get out. What is going on here? Oh, okay, I see. Okay. This is low elo shit. You see this? You see this hog way up here? That's some dumb shit. You see this Genji right here? That's fine. That's not as stupid because Genji has dash. Hog doesn't. Literally, like, this hog is feeding his ass off. Like, as soon as the enemy team gets up to here, well, he doesn't have mobility. He gets purpled, and then he can't E, and then he dies. So I'm really afraid of that. For you, though, the best way you can just support your team is to pretty much stay here. Just stay here on this sight line that you're looking at right now. And keep an eye on this sight line. Put pressure on the enemy team where you can, because a lot of times people undervalue the amount of damage they can take walking from, like, this right here to, like, this right here. They think that they're not really in danger until they pass this archway, when in fact they're in a lot of danger. You can shoot them. So you can also throw nades at them here, and it's not that hard of a nade to hit. If I'm looking at, like, your perspective, it's pretty simple to just throw a nade like this. It's going to come over here, and it's going to land on top of them. You can get some free ult charge in the beginning of the fight like that before you ever even have to use the nade anyway. So that's pretty good. Don't start up here as much. You could start here if your whole team is, like, chilling up here, doing one of these kind of high ground defenses. If you got a lot of people up here, it's totally fine for you to kind of sort of, like, just be right here. It's a pretty safe angle to play. But otherwise, since there isn't a whole lot of people up there to support, then being here and just being able to shoot on the front line is kind of nice. Watching what direction they come from, whether they come from this direction or they're coming at you from this direction, it's going to kind of dictate what you do next. A lot of the times, unless you have a pretty big fortification sitting right here, like if you have, like, a Rhine comp just sitting on top of this corner, which is common, then walking back this way onto this staircase isn't too bad, because you actually can support your team from sitting here. Like, there's a lot you can actually do to support your team and be in pretty good cover by sitting behind this natural cover here. All right. But if you don't have a very big presence here and there's nothing to support here, then walking backwards on the stairs is not great, because then it really puts you in a bad position. If no one's there to support, then who are you supporting on these stairs? No one. So try to figure out who you're trying to support and use that to dictate whether you're going to backtrack to the stairs or backtrack to this main alley right here. This is a fine spot to find yourself after the fight's starting to take out. And what I do find myself doing a lot is I will start here, and as time permits, right, and as I can get over to there, I will do this rotation to here. I will keep my team up here as much as I can. I get vision on both angles. And as I'm starting to see my team lose space, I keep walking further and further back. And I can just keep walking back, and I can still get like angles here, but I become safer and safer and safer until like if the fight's lost, I can get out and I'm pretty much safe, right? And so you'll want to do that. Now I'm getting messages from people. I've pretty much let this video go on too long anyway. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm sorry I didn't actually look at Blizzard World, but hopefully that gave you some insights as to like sort of how safe you should play this. And if you found this helpful, let me know. If you have another VOD in the future, after maybe climbing a little bit, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Hit me up, and I can try to help more. Happy to do it.